All right, guys.
I hope we're coming through.
Welcome to our first ever live stream. Hope you guys are doing well. And we are actually using a different platform now. So I don't know. I think there's about a 10-second delay, but give us a shout and let us know if you're here and if you can see us
And hear us.
and hear us. All right. I see one person sees us.
Yep. Oh,
Seven.
7. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Liz and Derek. How are you? And all right. Thank you. All right. Great. Hey, Alan. Great. Thank you.
Good. Good.
All right, guys. So,
Esther, Katie.
hello, guys. So we really wanted this to be a Q&A. I did a little poll on our, hey, Linda Brackett.
Linda Brackett.
I did a poll on our YouTube homepage and gave about 4 options, and one of them was the one that actually won was how do we plan a trip. So we can start talking about that. But if you guys have any specific questions, please feel free to ask. We're glad to answer anything we can, and we're just happy to be here. And maybe, hey, Mark Finley. And just share whatever we can about our travel experience with you guys. So I mean, the first thing, like I said, was how do we plan our trips? So
Very careful.
we tried to. They didn't quite work the last time.
No.
So for those of you who don't know, we were 2 weeks in to a 9-week trip when the pandemic hit. And so it was Ireland, which we had been before, but we wanted to go back. We love Ireland and the Irish people. And so we had done Ireland and we got to Edinburgh.
Yeah. And that was it.
And then it was time to come home. So that was actually supposed to be a trip we were going to see the Northern Lights. And then we were going to spend a week in Iceland. We were going to St. Petersburg, Russia. We were going to Estonia, Amsterdam during the tulip, when the tulips were in bloom. So obviously we missed all that. But I think to answer the question of how do we plan our trips, it's starting off and how we pick a destination, probably the same way most of you guys do. I mean, we either, it's somewhere that, we've seen on another vlogger's channel, or in a guidebook, or a friend's been, or it's got some historical significance and we've just always had it on our list. And, that's kind of where we start. And then we start narrowing it down from there in terms of what makes sense. We try, and our trips are usually at least 4 weeks long.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer. So what we do is figure out logistically what makes sense, so we're not backtracking, and depending on if we're renting a car or trains or planes. And I think the biggest key is being flexible with your dates. That's usually the first thing is we figure out where we want to go on the time frame, and then look for flights, the best price we can find on flights in a certain window of time, and then kind of backtrack in to those dates, as far as when we check into hotels and that sort of thing. And
that's actually probably what takes us the longest.
It really is.
The dates down, because we write them down and then we scribble them out.
How many nights do we want to be somewhere? Yeah. So, and I will finish that, but I want to get to Eliz's question about planning a trip to Russia. So, yeah, I mean, you need a visa.
Yeah.
And and I know there's a lot of places where you need a visa and you have to mail off your passport, but I got to tell you, the first time you do that and you put the passport in the mail, it's a little freaky, you know. It's just a little scary that you're giving that up.
It's not like it was hard. I mean, it's not like
It was
it was a lot of questions.
It was a lot of paperwork. Well, we actually used the service because we had another trip planned in between to Mexico, and we needed to make sure we had our passport back in time for that trip. But yeah, I mean, the passports, and I mean, there is an expense to it. And, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird to see, you know,
Your name
the
in
page
Russian.
come back and your name in Russian. But I mean, as far as that goes, Liz, St. Petersburg was the only place we were going on this trip, and would have been our first time there. You know, so I don't know, other than, I mean, we definitely looked at, I mean, we spent a lot of time on forums trying to figure out, you know, where the best place to stay was, and making sure we were near public transport and that sort of thing. And yeah, that's probably the biggest tip I can give you, is make sure you get your visa information and your visa back in time. And you know, they definitely want to know, you know, is it a one entry, or are you going to be coming in and out? How long you're going to be there? I mean, you've got to have all of that nailed down, and you have to have whatever hotel you're going to stay, wherever you're staying, you've got to provide those details to them. And in a hotel, whatever hotel or whatever facility you're staying in has to provide proof or a letter saying that you are staying there, and that sort of thing, for you to actually get your visa approved. So there were quite a few steps, but not so hard. And yes, Megan, you can take the cruise on the St. Peter's Line ferry. It may have a different name now. From Helsinki, I think it goes to Stockholm as well. I don't do well on boats, Megan, so that was the reason we didn't do that. But you can do, if you just want to be there for 3 days, and we were actually going to be there a little bit longer than that. You can take a boat over from Helsinki, Finland, and you've got 72 hours that you can be in Russia without a visa. The challenge is, the time of year we were going, it wasn't full season, so the boats weren't running in a way that would make us, I think we figured it up, and we would actually only have like 46 hours there, which just wasn't enough for us. So it all depends. But yes, you are exactly right, Megan. You can take that cruise.
Linda.
Hey, Darian.
Linda, do you stay close to the American Embassy if there is one where you are?
No, we don't really worry about that. I mean, we really don't. It's,
They're usually, obviously, where we go, there usually is one, but we don't worry about staying close to one.
Yeah, we don't.
We stay wherever makes sense for us.
yeah. I mean, we do, and a lot of that depends on, again, if we're gonna have a car or what we're planning on doing. And I see Esther said something about no one really knows when we could travel for leisure again. I think that is very true. Nobody knows. I think definitely domestic obviously will open up before international.
Oh yeah.
And there's all kinds of speculation. I mean, some folks are saying that a lot of countries, particularly in the EU, may keep their borders closed to anybody that's not from the EU until a vaccine is available. Some people are saying, this fall. I mean, it's really
I don't think anybody knows.
It's really all up in the air. It's just, we don't know. And obviously we want to be safe. And I know, a lot of states here are starting to lift bans slowly, and we'll see. I mean, they say another wave is going to hit us in the fall, and I don't know what that's going to do. So our plans right now are to do some domestic road trips. We hope. So you want to talk about those?
Yeah. I mean, we've thrown different things out there. Of course, then you have to, watch out for the weather, and then you run into, depending on, where we plan on going and what time of year it is. And, you know, you have hurricane season and you have cold and you have hot and you have, so we've kind of thrown some things up in the air. We talked about New England. We talked about going down south. And we know a lot of you have asked us about, you know, Nashville. So we could probably get that one in there.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find a way to make that happen.
And we've even talked about going out west and doing the West Coast. So, you know, it just depends on, you know, what we can do. And so,
yep. So we are in Indiana now, Esther. We live right outside of Indianapolis. I'm originally from Nashville, and
I'm originally from here. So
yeah, we're here right now, and it's you know, I don't think it knows what season it is here yet.
No.
So, but yeah, I am from Tennessee, from Nashville, and that's what we get a lot of folks asking us to do videos on Nashville. So it's definitely one we'll get done this summer.
Yeah, I lived in Nashville Tennessee for 22 years. So pretty much most of my life.
Megan, Pacific Coast Highway road trip. So we actually had a 38-foot motorhome, and we just sold it last year. And
because we wanted to travel internationally.
Yeah. We kind of got that backwards. So we bought it and we did it and we loved it. And then, you know, we discovered how much we loved international travel. So then we weren't using it. But anyway, long story short, we have driven from Seattle to San Francisco, and it was beautiful. And we would absolutely love to do it again. We loved it, you know, everything along the way. We obviously spent time in Seattle. We spent time in Portland, Cannon Beach.
Yep,
is that right?
Redwoods.
The redwoods were beautiful, and San Francisco's gorgeous. So I guess we've done part of it, Megan. It's definitely something we want to spend more time doing. Nader, let's see. Yep. And yes, Liz, we're definitely going to hit Indiana Dunes. We're going to hit Indiana Dunes this summer.
Yep.
We're going to do the Michigan Upper Peninsula.
Mackinac Island.
Yeah, Mackinac. Yeah. Mackinac. And then we've actually talked about doing the Outer Banks again this year. We did that, I don't know, probably 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed it. And so we're looking at getting a house there in the area with the, you know, where the wild horses are in the 4x4 area. So that's just very interesting if nobody's been there. And then, you know, there's some cool things there. So we're talking about that. But yeah, the Pacific Coast Highway is absolutely gorgeous. And at some point, Darian, I know Darian's on here. We're gonna have to talk to you more about more of Germany. We've been to Munich, Cologne, and Berlin, and of those, I would say Berlin was our favorite.
Yep.
So definitely want to get your take on some of that. And I'm seeing, I don't think Liz is looking to go to the Upper Peninsula as well. Yeah, you're pretty close to not have made it up there so far, Liz. So we'll go back to, well, since we don't have any other questions, kind of talk more about how we pick our places and how we plan the trip. So we use a lot of apps or a lot of different websites. I mean, you can use Skyscanner, we really like, but there's, you know, you can use Google Flights to find the best flights. And so sometimes we'll have 3 or 4 cities that we could potentially fly into, and figure out which makes the most sense, which is the best deal. And once we kind of get that nailed down, then we backtrack into all the places we're going to go and what makes sense. So we aren't going back and forth, you know, overlapping our trips. And when we pick where we're going to stay in a city, you know, we we typically stay as close to, I mean, as close to great public transportation as we can. I think that's the key anywhere. And of course,
unless we have a car.
Unless we have a car. Most other places have public transportation figured out so much better than most of the United States. Now, I mean, in Chicago, New York, I mean, some of the bigger cities, obviously, you've got trains and subways, and that's great. But, the rest of us don't have that. So, that's very nice internationally to be able to have a great public transit available. Paris has got a great subway system that's super easy.
Oh yeah, this last time we stayed in the Montmartre area,
Marais district,
and we had the metro. Thank you.
Yep.
I mean, basically, really right outside our door.
Yeah.
So, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, it made it super, super easy. Of course, yeah, Esther, obviously price comes into play, but, having the best, we weigh price and location and all of those things. I mean, we don't, hey, Derek, we don't necessarily go as cheap as we can, but we don't have to have extra fancy. I mean, we'll do that. We do use miles and points quite a bit. So if for some reason we want to splurge, we'll usually do it on something we have miles and points from our cards on. But
she keeps track of all that. And as Liz and Derek know, we got our whole spreadsheet going on. So
we do. So let's see what else. Liz, what airline did you fly to Europe on this spring, and did you like it? What did we fly over on? That was Icelandair, because we were doing a stopover coming back in Iceland, we thought. So we went over on Icelandair. We came back on British Airways.
Yes.
Which we've flown before. Icelandair was fun. I mean, you got a stopover, so we flew Boston to Reykjavik to Dublin, and but it was nice. I think we were talking about this the other day, Liz. I think it was, I don't know if it was on your chat or Mark's chat, but their business class seats are really just premium economy, but they're nice. I mean, it was fun. It was, it wasn't a super long flight, and the staff was really friendly and super attentive.
Yeah.
So it was good. Alan. So Alan, unfortunately for us, it's
more of the destination.
Yeah, it's the destination. Yeah, we usually start with the destination and then save up the budget. But you could do it the other way around. I mean, depending on how flexible you are in terms of your dates, so just there's a lot of different tools you can set up alerts on. Google is one of them, Google Flights.
A lot of it depends on, what time of year you're going. If it's peak season, if it's,
Yeah. So for us, I mean, we have the luxury of not being restricted in terms of like school schedules and that sort of thing that I know a lot of folks are. And we were when my daughter was younger, obviously, but now that she's older. So, we always now try and pick the off season. So we spring, early spring through about halfway through May is a great time to travel. And then if you wait till like after Labor Day, that's a great time to travel as well, before the holiday crowds come in. So that's kind of what we do, Alan, is we just pick a destination and then figure out the budget and how we're going to pay for it. Yes, Liz said Liz said it was on her. Yeah. Darian said yes. What was our favorite destination to date?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. So just to be clear, I mean, we love to travel, and there's 1,000 places we want to go. So a lot of you guys have probably traveled more places than we have. We have not been. We've been Europe, Caribbean, and North America. So we have not done. Oh, in Australia.
Yeah.
We have not done any of Asia. So, golly, Darian, that's a hard question.
I mean, for me, as far as one of my favorite places is Florence, Italy.
Yeah.
We actually, on our fall trip, were able, and if you've seen some of our videos, my birthday's in the fall, so we were able to schedule Florence on my birthday. So that's probably one of my favorite locations.
Yeah, I mean, Florence is great. The food is great. We find the people to be really nice. Everything's
convenient.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk everywhere. On that one, we actually had an apartment like looking right over the Duomo, which was super gorgeous.
Yep.
I mean, just a beautiful view to wake up to every day. And with Florence, you can do a lot of day trips to Pisa and other places in Tuscany, Siena, San Gimignano, any of the hill towns. So it's a great place. So I loved it, but if I had to pick a place that I could just keep going back to again and again, I would pick Ireland. So in case you guys haven't guessed, I do have a little bit of Irish heritage. And we've been to Ireland a couple of times now, and my family is from around the Ring of Kerry in County Kerry. But I find the Irish people to be so friendly and warm, and
she just likes to listen to them talk.
I do. I do. It's awesome. And so it is just such a beautiful country. It's just so beautiful, and there's so many places to explore. So that's probably mine. And Megan wants to know where you went in Australia.
Actually, I just went on that trip. I went to Brisbane, and then I also took a side trip to Sydney. So I was a little younger then, and actually that was my first trip ever out of the United States. So, but it was fun. It was fun. I just, I didn't plan well. I had some friends over there, so I was visiting them, and so I wasn't doing the whole tourist thing. But
you did some of it. I mean, I saw the
Opera House. I went to the zoo.
Yeah.
I went to the Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach. Yeah. So, I mean, if you can go. I mean, it's fun, and the people are nice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna back up to a little bit because Darian asked that question. I also think where our favorite place to travel, where we've been, that's our favorite so far, depends on for what. Because we were fortunate enough to spend about 12 days in Tahiti a year and a half ago.
Bora Bora.
And I mean, that's just a chill, lay back, enjoy some fruity umbrella drinks, and just
nothing.
Do nothing. And it was gorgeous. I mean, we snorkeled and we took some boat cruises out, and when we were in Moorea, we did the pineapple plantations. But
we rented that little buggy car.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So that was, that's just it really depends on what you're looking for. So for us, and most of what you see on the channel, most of what we're doing now is obviously exploring places, whether it's historical or the food, the culture, all of the above, and not just us, hanging out on the beach drinking drinks. So it depends.
Not that there's anything wrong with that,
right? We usually have at least one or two of those a year too. So that's what I would say. And let's see if we got any more. I think Linda's laughing at my Irishness.
But Derek sounds like he's making some pizzas.
Derek, means Mr. Means to Travel. Okay. And Darian, you've not been to Florence. Can't wait to try the food. So, the steak.
Yes, the Florentine steak.
Florentine steak we really, really enjoy it. But typically we are medium on our steaks, not medium rare, not well, but medium.
Yeah.
And they come out really rare. They don't ask you there. And maybe that's common. You may know better than we do, Darian, in Europe.
But we found pretty much not just Florence, but when we've gotten steak at other places, it's been more on the rare side.
Yeah, but the Florentine steak, they don't give you a choice, but they, it's this salted, I guess, porterhouse, and it's just on this huge platter, and it's
but
just
the thing is,
so good.
Like she said, neither one of us really do rare or more medium.
Yeah,
but
for some reason over there, rare's fine.
It's like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, so that's that and the gelato.
Yes.
Although our favorite gelato place is in Rome.
Giolitti's.
It's between Nuvana Square and the Pantheon.
Yep.
So that's probably our favorite.
And they're open till like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, they're open late. They actually serve wine at at a gelato place. So last time we were there were some flight attendants from what airline were they from? Vueling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The German, I think it's a German line.
Yeah.
And they had gotten stuck in Rome overnight. And so we're sitting there eating our ice cream and they're over there, drinking their wine and having a great time. And they were a lot of fun. So it's it's a fun place.
It is.
All right. Any other questions? Do we work remotely? Oh.
Well,
so I will let you tell that story.
So we work remotely doing our YouTube videos, but actually we are retired. We worked our butts off for years, and we had our own company, our own telecommunications company, and we sold it before, which was in Nashville or outside of Nashville, and we sold it before we moved up here and just decided to, live life to the fullest. That's why we always say living your best life. Because
we had some we went through some things. We lost some folks close to us, and as cliche as it sounds, it just kind of got to the point of how much is enough, how much do we really need, and so we made the decision after my daughter graduated high school and was ready to go to school. We just made the decision that we didn't have to be tied down to one thing. So so that's the deal.
It's kind of the cliche of you never know what tomorrow brings.
Yep.
So you might as well
so
live today.
so we are fortunate in that regard. And I think wait till you try the spaghetti. What, in Germany?
Spaghetti ice?
I don't know what spaghetti ice is. What is spaghetti ice, Darian? We don't know what that is. Although
means gelato. I think we looked for that in Florence.
Hey, Terry Finley.
That gelato place.
Where is it? Derek, where is that in Florence? And thank you for the congratulations. Linda Brackett. Keely is fine. She's lurking on here. You want to say hi to Linda Brackett, Keely? On chat. She's here, Linda. Esther had a trip planned to the Bahamas. Oh, yeah, that's just so hard. But hopefully, that was the right thing to do, to postpone it.
Well, speaking of,
go ahead.
We have, like we said, we were on our way to see the Northern Lights and the tulips and postponing it. We thought, well, maybe we can go this fall. Maybe we can just reschedule everything this fall. And I think we're probably about the same, where it's probably going to be a year or so before we actually get back.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, and nobody knows what's,
Yeah, and initially with some of the flights, when we went to reschedule, they would only give us 6 months to reschedule, but now they're coming back and giving us a year. Some were great. I will say Delta was fantastic. Iceland Air was good. But then we had some flights with like Norwegian, which I saw where they're going to file or some of the subsidiaries are filing bankruptcy, and Scandinavian Airlines, which we may lose. So But we're not going to go if it's not safe. I mean, that's why we made the decision to go.
Yeah,
home,
for the most part, we got refunds on everything, but
sure.
it was just a matter of just being safe. Is it Mache?
I know you are in the Walters world of talks, but I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Sometimes us Southern girls can't. Sometimes it gets a little too fancy for us. Yeah. But thank you for joining us. We're glad to have you with us. And yes, Esther. I mean, definitely, if you can postpone it, I think things will be better. And here's the thing: if it's not better by then, hopefully they'll be flexible and give you more time to take that trip to the Bahamas, because I'm sure that would be amazing. 2 bridges down from Point Vecchio. Okay, we'll have to look for that next time, Derek.
I remember the name because we looked up for the best gelato in Florence, and I'm pretty sure that came up. And I don't know why we didn't get there, but
I don't know. We went to one at Ultra Arno, or Ultra, however you say that, on the other side of the Point Vecchio, but I don't remember looking for that one. Alan, did you have the RV before you retired or after, and were you able to go everywhere in it you wanted to? So we bought it before we retired, about 2 years or year and a half before we retired.
Yep.
We had a great team in place, so we were able to travel a lot then. We were just doing it domestically. And
what we could do remotely also.
For the most part. Yeah. So yes, I mean, what we did, Alan, we went, my daughter ended up going to school near Boston initially. She's back in Indiana going to school here now. So we actually moved her up there with the RV. Yeah. And then Trace and I spent some time around New England, and then came back to Indiana to see her family on that trip. And then we went back up to New England in the fall, and we did Vermont and New Hampshire,
absolutely
in Maine. And if you get a chance to go up there in the fall during the leaf season, it is just gorgeous. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And New Hampshire was the one that was kind of crept up on us. I don't know. We weren't necessarily expecting it to be, I don't know. We were more, I guess we just didn't know as much about it. And we got there, and it was just beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. So we did that. And then we did out west. We did a whole trip across all the way to Vegas and back, and we went to Colorado and back. So yeah, I mean, we did quite a bit in Allen. I would say probably a much smaller, not 38 foot.
Of course, we were also traveling with 3 dogs and a cat.
Yeah, and pulling our Jeep. So but I would say that an RV, we will get one again. I don't know that it'll be quite a van, but definitely smaller than what we had, and do some more, probably 5 years or 10 years from now. Who knows?
I mean, it's fun. It's definitely an experience. And I mean, I think it's something, if you're into that, you should at least, even if you don't want to buy one, rent one, and, go see the sights, because it's a lot of fun. Plus you have all your stuff there. You don't have to pack up every day, leaving a hotel.
Yeah. It's not just, and some of these guys, you guys from Walter's world know that Jocelyn has wanted to take an RV trip. So she and I have been DMing about how to figure that out. So maybe we can rent one and have a big caravan with a bunch of folks. That would be a lot of fun. Let me go back up here. Darian, it's a German ice cream that looks like a plate of spaghetti. I made a video about it. Okay, I'll go look for it. We'll have to go check that out for sure. All right, and it's mache, like paper mache. Okay. So good.
Cool.
All right, Liz, the gelateria in Florence, written up on Santia, become really popular. Derek likes to think he's discovered it first. Well, we'll let him think he's discovered it. Yes, Linda, Vermont is gorgeous, but do not write off New Hampshire, because it was awesome.
It was.
Terry and Mark, Eastern Tennessee. So Yeah, the Eastern Tennessee area, Gatlinburg, Sevierville, that whole area is beautiful in the fall.
That's where you have a lot of the mountainous,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
lakes.
and we've spent some. I mean, we obviously went there. We've gone a bunch because it's kind of a quick, easy weekend trip. And then there's also closer to Chattanooga, like on the northern side of Georgia, is where Blue Ridge, Georgia, and the Blue Ridge Parkway is, which is also a gorgeous area and a gorgeous drive. I don't remember, Mark and Terry, where you guys are. Is it Texas, maybe? So depending on if you're driving or not, that would be something to look at as well, I think. Portsmouth. Were we in Portsmouth? Where were we? We were around was that the White Mountains?
Yes,
I believe. So they call it the Kank. I can't pronounce it, but the highway.
Kinkamunga, or whatever it is.
That's what we did in New Hampshire. Mache is in California. Okay, Kentucky, Ohio border, Western West Virginia. Okay, yeah. Terry, yes, Texas. Memphis is a hoot.
Yes, Memphis is a hoot.
It is, Esther. It is a hoot. Nashville is a lot of fun. Obviously it's my hometown, but we definitely love it. It's definitely more than country music. Nashville.
Oh yeah.
Just like Memphis, there's more. I mean, you've got Beale Street, but there's more to Memphis than Elvis and Graceland.
Which is actually some place that I've never been.
Yeah.
I keep telling her I need to go just to go.
Actually, there's some museums, some new stuff in Nashville that we never even went to. So,
we're definitely going to get to Nashville and get some videos going.
Yes, we are. And Liz is telling us Portsmouth is about the ocean. White Mountain is great for leaf, right? So that's what we did.
Yeah.
And Derek is still convincing us that he was the first one to go to the gelato place. All right.
I wonder if they ship.
Yay, Gold Belly. Do they have Gold Belly in Florence? All right. So Terry's telling us that Mark drives everywhere. So yeah, I mean, if you guys drive to Tennessee, stop in Nashville on the way, and then if you want to go to Gatlinburg, but then go on up, go to Asheville, and then on up the Blue Ridge. It's gorgeous. 12 to, you're right. It is about I don't know. It might be, it depends on how you go. If it's 12 to 14 hours.
On who's driving.
And who's driving. Now, I'll tell you, that was the one thing that was hard about an RV is that you couldn't, you
really couldn't go over 60.
And so, and you really, believe it or not, Liz will appreciate this.
My whole 5 foot self.
So Tracey is a little bit vertically challenged, and she did a lot better driving this huge RV than I did. And so but there's also was another slight issue. Tracey doesn't know how to. I'm a better navigator.
Oh yeah, I'm not a good.
I'll just say that.
If you want to cause an argument in the family, is to have me navigate.
Yeah.
So I just drive. I'd much rather drive anyway.
Yeah. So she drove.
That way, if we take a wrong turn, it's not my fault.
I navigated. And that was, so she would just be exhausted. I mean, and I did drive some. It's not that I never drove, but she was a better driver than I did. But 4 or 5 hours of driving that thing, and you're just like a big wind sail in the wind. So
drive through Oklahoma.
Oh, and Texas too, Finley's. When we came across like the tip there through Amarillo, is that what?
Yes.
Oh, it was horrible. So you can only drive so many hours a day in those things, and you're just exhausted.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. I think did we miss anything?
I don't know. Scroll up a little bit. I think we missed some, but I'm not sure.
Linda would love to see Vermont in the fall.
I think there was some
RV. Megan, how did we meet?
Well, we worked. Well, at that time, we both worked at a paging company. So, hence kind of the telecommunications. And that's when the big old bulky, what was it, Nokia phone? What was that, Nextel?
Yeah, the
They
next
started coming out.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah,
So you're telling them how old we are.
we met at work.
We're old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we met at work in 1999.
Yes.
So long time. Mark Finley says he tends to drive fast. Oh yeah, Texas. Yeah.
Well, in Texas, the one that had the speed limit of, where was it that had a speed limit of 75?
That might have been Texas. I know some
think it's
places out
Texas.
west definitely had that. And
I was bummed because I couldn't drive 75.
yeah, no, there's no way. No way. Alyssa, she
Yes,
works with-
Liz. Yes.
Liz.
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 Liz. We have to stick together.
You okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Texas is 75. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess anything else? Any other questions? Or 70 everywhere, 85 in places. Oh, nice. That would be very nice.
Well, I know when
Very
we were
nice.
in Germany and drove on the Autobahn.
We thought we were going really fast
We did.
until these Mercedes just blew our doors off.
Mercedes and BMWs, we were like, okay.
Yep. Okay, so why did we decide to vlog our adventures? Well, honestly, we were traveling a lot and we had a lot of friends, ask us and family ask us, and they wanted to see, trips from our pictures. And they basically just said, hey, you guys ought to start a vlog. And so, we did, because we felt like, there are a lot of travel vloggers out there. And a lot of them that we have gotten to know actually and are friends with, and they're awesome, but most of them are, younger than we are.
Yeah.
And so they do maybe some more adventurous stuff than what we might do, or,
Yep.
They stay in hostels, which we've never stayed in a hostel.
And I know that's, people say stay in a
And I know,
at least
Liz, we
once.
talked about that, and we might do it and get a private room, but I think we just kind of,
We're definitely not going to backpack across Europe.
no. And we don't take just one bag. So, I think we kind of felt like we were in this area that probably a lot of folks our age or close to our age were in, where, there just weren't a lot of vloggers out there. I mean, Mark and Jocelyn do a lot, and they do stuff with kids, and they do a lot of planning stuff. But they don't do a lot of, in that location and showing you around. So, we just felt like there was a place for us in that realm. Maybe it was underrepresented. I know there's a couple of other folks, that do some of the similar stuff, but we just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, we really like it. And I think honestly, it makes us even stop and make sure we understand what we're seeing more.
Yeah.
I'm a big research nerd anyway, but I think it really made us stop to say, okay, let's make sure we, explain this right and really understand what we're looking at. So,
And that's why she does most of the talking, because she does all the research on there. And not that I'm not interested, but
so let's see. It's crazy. Megan Moore's. Yes, we went to Newport.
Mhm.
And we just did a day trip actually over from. We were staying at the RV resort near Foxborough.
Yes.
And so we did Newport for a day and saw the mansions and that sort of thing. And it was awesome. The coast was great. But that was just a day trip, so I can't give you, and we were in the RV, so I can't give you any recommendations really on where to stay. But we did go and we did enjoy it, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Linda said she was about to mention the Autobahn. Are you one? Derek wants to know if we're wine folks and what's our favorite. So I like wine. Trace does not.
I'm not a big wine person, so.
Yeah. So
Her favorite's red wine.
yeah, it would be a red, so a cab, or like I don't know if you've heard of cupcake. I like cupcake cab. That's probably my favorite. But I'm not, because she doesn't drink it. We just don't drink a lot of wine, because of that. So
on occasion I will.
Yeah. Jackie, do you still have an RV? I'm trying to talk my, do you like traveling? So Jackie, I think there are, I'm just going to add this so that everybody can see. I should have been doing that. Sorry, guys. So you could see what questions we were answering. So we do not still have the RV. We will be getting another one at some point when we feel like we are not going to be traveling internationally as much. I think they both have their pros and cons. I mean, and there are some folks who have vans and obviously a 38-foot motorhome like ours, you couldn't really take it around a lot of the places in Europe. But there are folks who have, taken ship camper vans over and done Europe. I think a camper van would be a little too small for us.
Yeah.
But I think there's pros and cons. Right now, we're really enjoying the way we're traveling internationally, which is why we weren't using the RV as much. But I will tell you that on our bucket list for the RV at some point is going to be to do the Trans-Canadian Highway. We want to do Alaska. But usually you need to do Alaska with, a couple of other folks, just because you are so remote in some cases, and some of the roads are really bad in case something goes wrong. So there's some planning that would go into that. But I mean, those are two places that are definitely on our list. Obviously, we're going to spend more time out west. We're going to spend more time, exploring just everywhere, really. Yeah. There's a ton of places we want to go. So we're not opposed to RVing at all, but it just didn't make sense to have that RV sitting there going unused. So it's great. And like for us at the time, Tracey said we had 3 dogs and my daughter's cat while she was in school, and wasn't living at home. We didn't have anybody to watch them. So we had to have the dogs and the cat in the RV, and the cat got to be the best traveler of all of them, which is the funny
on the big old dashboard.
He loved it.
Yeah.
So if you have animals, or if you want to take family vacations, you can get the ones with bunkhouses. So I think there's pros and cons to both.
And I think one of the biggest pro, and like I said before, is just having all your stuff there. So in the RV,
oh, for sure.
I mean, you don't have to pack it up, and you can have your own food, and you can cook there, and
yeah. All right, Alan's talking to Megan. Darian, what was your favorite place in Munich? Yes, we saw I'm going to let you say it because I can't say it.
Glockenspiel.
Yeah. So Tracey took. Okay. So I took Spanish when I was in school many, 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 many years ago. Tracey took German.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we made it a point to try and learn a few phrases in, Italian and French. And the French I wasn't so great at, but she had 4 years of German. So I thought, oh, okay, great. She can figure this one out. We're all good. We got there.
Now, there were a few words that I
knew.
Yeah. There were a few that I knew. She's making it sound like I didn't know anything, but yeah, it had been a while.
You knew Guten Tag.
Guten Tag,
yeah.
Guten Morgen.
So anyway, but yes, Darian, sorry. We did we liked Munich, obviously. We went, oh gosh, what's that? What's the market where the big beer garden is? It's got a covered market and then the outdoor beer garden, and I don't remember the name of it right now.
That was in Berlin.
No, I'm talking about the one where it hailed on us.
Oh,
remember?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that Darian, I
Yeah.
don't remember the name of
Yeah.
it. I'm sorry, it's just escaping me right now. But the market with the beer garden would probably have been our favorite place. We do enjoy a nice beer, so so that was fun. Esther, we look in our 40s. Well, yeah, but we just we decided that retiring was something we wanted to do. So how many countries have y'all visited? Which ones? Okay. So I don't know the exact count, Terry. We will get those, but we did talk about this a little bit earlier. I don't think there's any that we've disliked.
No.
Earlier I did say that I love everywhere we've been in Ireland. Like just hands down, I just love it. I love the people. I think they're so warm and friendly, and I think there's so much history, and there's just so much natural beauty that I love Ireland. But there's a lot of places that I love.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, one of my favorite places is Florence, Italy. Just the people, everything's easy to get to, walkable. But yeah, I mean, there hasn't been anywhere that we've just totally disliked or
No.
said we'd never go back or
No. We'll say just we had one bad experience in Paris.
Yeah.
Our first time there. And as it turned out, it was based on where we were staying, and we were using, so we do use points and miles. I think I mentioned that earlier. And we were using points, and this particular hotel, I mean, a metro was right outside the door. Of course, we didn't speak any French. Our first time in Paris, we knew all the places we wanted to go, and we certainly got to see all those places. But this area was just not. I don't know that they had a lot of tourists necessarily. I think maybe this hotel was maybe catered to more business. I don't know, or non-Americans.
Yeah.
Let me say that, definitely non-Americans. And we had a lot of challenges with people there not being super friendly. I mean, even just the local restaurants, cafes, the grocery store, even the hotel really wasn't that great.
Thank goodness for Google Translate, because we used it a lot in that area.
We did, but then we came back because that trip we had flown in and out of Paris. So we came back later before we were flying home and stayed a couple of nights, totally different area, and loved it. And the people were friendly and everything was great. So, I don't know that we would ever write something completely off unless obviously there was a security, kind of threatening situation.
Yeah.
I mean, people have bad days, different areas do different, there's all those types of things, but that would probably be the one sort of, I don't know, unfriendly situation we've had. And they didn't do any, they just couldn't be bothered with us, basically. Mark says, let me see what he says. My 79-year-old mother wants to put that up. She doesn't do stairs well. So Mark, here's the thing. You can always stop. I mean, I don't know what trip you guys are looking at doing to take her, but I mean, there's always somewhere to stop, even if it's a cafe and you get, a coffee or a tea or a beer or whatever. If she wants to go, I would say do it. For somebody who's lost their mother, if I still have my mom here, and Linda Brackett is a friend of ours who knew my mom. If my mom was still here and she told me today, hey, I want to go, I know her place would have been Ireland that she would have wanted to go. We would have done it. You just find a way. I mean, there are hotels and other places that, don't have steps. Or you can find some that have, less steps. I mean, it may take a little more to figure it out. I mean, I understand my mom actually ended up in a wheelchair in the last 5 years or so of her life, and it even domestically traveling. I mean, we had to be careful. She went with us a lot on our domestic travels.
And I don't know if over there they have places where they can rent scooters.
I don't know. They
Because
might.
we did that a couple times with her mom when domestically.
Yeah, we did that in Vegas and in Orlando.
Yeah, we'd rent scooters, for the week or however long we were there, and she would just tool around on the little scooter. But she was able to go everywhere, and most places are handicap accessible.
Well, that was here,
that's what I'm talking about. Domestic.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they do that in Europe.
Yeah, we haven't paid attention. But the other thing, Mark, just one of the things that we enjoy doing, as touristy as it is, and I know a lot of people poo-poo it and whatever, but we do it almost every time we go to a new city, and that is to take
the ho-ho bus.
So the hop on, hop off bus. It's for us, particularly one of us who has a little bit of a hard time getting their area, somebody who has a hard time getting their geography right. It helps us really lay out what's in what neighborhood and how to get somewhere. And some of those places, yes, you have to be up to see stuff, but they do have the lower level, and I know they have handicap spots on those. So, that might be a good way that might help you guys get around some places. So, I don't know. Those are just a few thoughts. There's a lot that goes into that, so I don't want to take up. I want to make sure we don't miss other questions. Damn. Jackie, no, that is on our list, and absolutely RVing with the dog. So yes, we want to do the Trans-Canadian Highway, and we want to do Banff. Matter of fact, we were looking at doing Banff initially this summer, and looked at maybe renting a camper van to kind of drive around that area. But since we're not sure if we'll be able to travel to Canada, we've decided to do US. But Banff is, everything we've seen is absolutely gorgeous. And yes, to be able to take your dogs with you, it
makes you happy, makes them happy.
It's a big deal, yeah, because that does get to be one of the issues we have when we're on the road, is missing them.
See,
Terry, see, 4 years of German.
Thanks, Terry.
Yes, is that Deirdre? Deirdre. Yes, English or Gardens. That's probably right, where we were in Munich. Terry said many moons ago. English Gardens. Yeah, that's what. And Darian saying the same thing. Yes, Scotland is amazing. Yes. So Jackie, I don't know if you were here earlier. Excuse me. We had just gotten to Edinburgh when the pandemic, when it became a pandemic. We had been in Ireland and we were there. And so we were there 3 nights, I think? And basically we spent all 3 of those days on the phone trying to get everything rescheduled and rebooked and canceled and deposits back. And, at one point, I don't even remember who it was I was on hold with, but I spent like 2.5 hours on hold. Was it Delta at that time? So yes, we wanted Scotland. From everything I saw, it looked awesome. The people were awesome that were around our immediate area, but we really didn't get to do anything. That is one that is definitely on our list.
To go back
and even go, out to the islands and up further north and we definitely want to explore Scotland. It looks really, really interesting. Terry, what area was it? I don't know. I can tell you it was near Montparnasse.
However you say that.
Yeah, somebody else on here. I'm sure somebody's laughing at us, but I can look that up, Terry, and let you know, like Wednesday night, if you'll be on the chat there, I can let you know for sure where that was exactly, where we stayed in Paris. Linda says, absolutely. I think that's about Mom. Hi, Eddie Gadsby. Mark Finley. My grandfather did Warsaw. Okay, yeah. They have great sidewalks. Okay, so Derek is talking to Mark about that. Marche, I think sorry. I think I remember us talking about that, or that coming up on another chat about ho-ho buses. I totally agree. In Paris, I would absolutely, I mean, for us, we really, really enjoyed the Marais district and the
Yes.
Montmartre district. Those are the
Yes.
two districts we really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Easy to get around, friendly areas, great things to see. I know other folks here have been to Paris as well. And I think Liz and Derek are fond of Montmartre area as well. In London, we actually usually stay in Kensington. We've got a hotel that we stay at that's literally right next door to a tube station, and it's got, I don't know, 4 or 5 restaurants, pubs right there, a grocery store, a dry cleaners, a bank, everything we need. So we really like the Kensington area for that. Jackie's talking about Banff. Yeah, Lake Louise. Yeah, Alberta. Yeah, and see, we were going to do, in addition to Banff and Lake Louise, we were going to go over to Victoria, British Columbia, right? Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot up there we want to see as well, Jackie. She enjoyed Scotland more. Okay, that's good to know because I haven't spent time there, so that may be the case for me. I may be a little biased, but we'll see. Before you go, make sure you watch Outlander. It's funny, Jackie. So I saw a lot of stuff when we were there about Outlander. We didn't watch it. We were Game of Thrones folks. And so when we were in Belfast, we did take a day and do a cheesy Game of Thrones tour, but it was fun. So
we saw the Giant's Causeway on the trip and the dark hedges
and the rope bridge,
the Carricker Reed.
Yep. So,
paper mache. Yeah, you got to tell her a couple things twice, Esther.
Yeah, that's hard. Do you guys go to mini gardens when you travel? So we haven't, Derek. We really haven't. It might be something we do. Of course, it depends on what time of year too, right? So like when we were in Vienna, it was October.
Yes.
So we went through Schönbrunn.
Schönbrunn Palace.
But we didn't really spend a lot of time there. We honestly, that was a mistake too. If you guys have ever gone to Vienna, you need an entire day, if not 2, to see all of Schönbrunn.
Yeah.
We did not know that.
We didn't schedule enough time.
We didn't schedule enough time in Vienna, period.
Yeah.
Gorgeous city, was so much
but
to
the
see.
Schnitzel is good.
Yeah. Yeah, the schnitzel's very good. All right, Liz is going to talk about London. Okay. Marais.
Yeah.
All right. Michelle says scheduled Marais. Yeah. So yeah, Marais is a great district to stay in Kensington. But I know Liz, I'm pretty sure Liz and Derek have been to London as well. So I'm sure they can talk about that some. But yeah, Kensington has been our favorite. So let's see. What else? Anything else? Did you get to Versailles? So we were scheduled to go to Versailles and there was a train strike and we didn't, that was our first trip there and we didn't really understand all that. And so, no, we missed that. We missed that. And that was a trip. My daughter was with us. And
that was the first time we'd ever gone to Europe.
Yeah. And so we started in Italy and worked our way up. We went to Germany. And then we went through the Alps. Yeah, we drove through the Alps. But anyway, no, to answer your question, Jackie, we had it scheduled. There was a train strike. And I guess, we just didn't know.
Yeah.
I know that they announced them ahead of time and we could have made alternate arrangements. Now I know that. I did not know that then. So we missed it, but I want to do that. And I have heard that Versailles, I've heard a lot of mixed things about Versailles itself. So to hear you say you like the gardens more than the residents, that's probably some of what I've heard. Katie wants to hear more about Tahiti. Is 1 week on Moorea enough? Getting to Bora Bora, looked expensive. So, Moorea was, so we did 5 nights in Moorea, 5 nights in 6 nights in Bora Bora, and then a night in Tahiti, Tahiti proper
sides.
on both sides, coming in and out. Yes, Moorea is.
There's more things to do in Moorea.
Yeah, there. I mean, yeah, if you want to get out and explore, hike, see the pineapple plantations,
which I would highly recommend.
Yeah, there was
rent an ATV and go see the pineapple field.
Yeah, they do tours there. They're just awesome. You know, we obviously flew. I'm pretty sure that's the only way you can do it is to fly Air Tahiti from the islands, and I don't remember how expensive it was. I'll be really honest. That was a big splurge trip for us, so I couldn't tell you, but it was a quick flight and it was an easy flight. I mean, you know, and the airport was basically a, you know, hut, the open air hut. I mean, it was kind of crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, they didn't have any security either.
No security. No. And I mean, the shots, the views coming in and going out of Bora Bora were just phenomenal. But Moorea was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, funny story. We didn't know this either when we booked it. So you can take a ferry from Tahiti proper, you know, the main island, to Moorea. I mean, you can see it. So it's probably 20 minutes on a boat. No, it's probably
about
40 minutes on a boat. I didn't know that, so I went ahead and booked a flight. So literally, we get in the plane, and we went up, and then I'm like, "Wow, okay, wait a minute." So,
but we didn't feel so stupid because we weren't the only ones doing it.
We weren't. So, but that will save you a ton of money, I'm sure, if you don't spend the money on that flight like we did.
Take the ferry.
Yeah, take the ferry. That would be much easier. But Bora Bora is gorgeous as well. It just depends on what you want to do. That's right. I did know that, Liz, that you lived in London. Jackie. So we actually have annual travel insurance. There are a lot of places, and we've got, a lot of different companies. I think we have Alliance, for ours. And so we just have a blanket policy for a whole year. Now, I will tell you, like most policies, unless they were canceled for any reason, our policy, we didn't even try to claim anything on this pandemic stuff, because I know that there's the exclusion for that. So, but yes, we absolutely do travel. We do buy, an annual travel insurance policy, because we don't ever know. I mean, we'll try to have 2 or 3 trips planned out. But then, like, we would actually still be in Iceland right now, and we'd get home, and then I would probably fully plan out a fall trip. So I never know where we're going to be. In that way, if we find some great deal, spur of the moment, we know we're covered. And you're welcome, Katie.
If you can ever take a trip to Tahiti, Bora Bora specifically, do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it.
Absolutely.
That's all we can say is do it.
I totally agree. All right. Yeah, I know there are a ton of Walters World folks here, aren't there? And I know it's Liam's birthday, so I hate not having those guys. But guys, we really, really, truly appreciate your support. And I think probably if there aren't any more questions, we're going to go ahead and go for now. But I think we're going to make these weekly. So
Monday, 8 o'clock, be there.
I may put something up on our community page to see. Really? Oh, so okay. Let's just put that up there so everybody can see that.
Yeah.
So, maybe some policies are gonna cover it, which is awesome. I mean, that's great if you can, and we may go back and look at that then. Thanks, Linda, for being here. And I don't know if it's Deidre or Deirdre, but thank you. And thanks, Darian, Liz, and Derek. Thank you so much. Lisa, save them for next chat. That'll be great. That'll give us somewhere to start off from. And I may put something up on Instagram, Facebook, and our community page to kind of get some questions in advance. And Jackie, thank you so much. Guys, we really appreciate it. Thanks, Mark. And some of you, I guess I'll see later on this week. And if not, we will see you next Monday. Thanks again. Live your best life.